Peppa Pig. George catches a cold. Mummy Pig has said Peppa and George can play in the rain, but they must wear rain clothes to keep them dry. But George hates wearing his rain hat, so he has thrown it in a muddy puddle. George! Come inside, children, calls Daddy Pig. It's raining too hard now. Where's your hat, George? asks Mummy Pig. Achoo! Achoo! replies George. Oh dear, George has caught a cold. Achoo! George cannot stop sneezing. Poor little George, says Mummy Pig. You don't look very well. Don't worry, I'll call Dr. Brown Bear, says Daddy Pig. Will George go to the hospital? asks Peppa. No, George has to go to bed, replies Daddy. So George is not truly sick then, says Peppa, disappointed. George, you have to stay in bed until you are better, says Daddy Pig. Why? asks George. Because you have to keep warm, says Daddy. Dr. Brown Bear is here to see George. Open wide and say, "Ah," he says. George is a little afraid of Dr. Brown Bear. He hides under his sheets with Mr. Dinosaur. Dr. Brown Bear asks Peppa to show George that he does not have to be scared. Ah, says Peppa. George laughs and comes out from under his sheets. He opens his mouth so Dr. Brown Bear can look. Ah, says George. George has caught a cold, Dr. Brown Bear tells Mummy Pig. He can have some warm milk at bedtime to help him sleep. Thank you, Dr. Brown Bear, says Mummy Pig. You're welcome. Goodbye, says Dr. Brown Bear before driving off in his special white car. The next morning, George wakes up early. The warm milk made him sleep very well. Wow! cries George, waking up Peppa. He is feeling much better. It is a lovely sunny day, but George is wearing his rain hat. He doesn't want to catch another cold. Oh, George, you don't need to wear your hat when it is warm and sunny, Mummy Pig tells him. Everyone laughs. The end. Peppa Pig, the big tale of little Peppa. Once upon a time, Peppa's best friend, Susie Sheep, came to play. I've got something to show you, said Susie. Look, it's me, said Susie. You're not a baby, Susie, said Peppa, shaking her head. This is an old photo, Susie explained. It was taken when I was little. Peppa snorted. Susie was being very silly today. Susie pointed at Peppa. In the olden days, you were a baby too, she said. No, I wasn't, said Peppa. Yes, you were, insisted Susie. Ask your mummy. Peppa and Susie raced inside. Mummy Pig was working on the computer. Mummy, cried Peppa, Susie is making up stories. No, I'm not, Susie said crossly. Peppa told Mummy Pig about Susie's silly idea that they used to be babies. But you were a baby, Peppa, said Mummy Pig. Mummy Pig took a look on the computer. Who do you think this is, Peppa? Mummy Pig asked. Peppa thought that the baby looked a bit like her cousin. Is it baby Alexander? She asked. No, replied Mummy Pig. That's you as a baby, Peppa. Susie and Peppa giggled. They'd never seen baby Peppa before. George and Daddy Pig came in to see what all the fuss was about. Look, Daddy, said Peppa, that's me as a baby. I remember it, said Daddy Pig. That photo was taken on the first day in this house. What do you mean? Asked Peppa. Daddy Pig told Peppa, Susie and George that they had moved into their house when Peppa was very little. We brought all our things on top of our car, he said. Mummy Pig put some pictures up, said Daddy Pig. Daddy Pig put up a shelf, said Mummy Pig. And Grandpa Pig made us a lovely flower garden, she continued. Peppa and Susie went outside to see what Grandpa Pig's lovely flower garden looked like now. It had completely disappeared. Daddy Pig looked after our flower garden, said Mummy Pig. Said Daddy Pig. We had the wrong kind of soil for flowers. Was Susie my friend in the olden days? Asked Peppa. Daddy Pig nodded. Of course, he said. You and Susie have always been best friends. Peppa wondered what game she played with Susie when they were little. Did we jump up and down in muddy puddles? No, Peppa, laughed Mummy Pig. You were babies. You couldn't even walk. What did we do when we were babies, Mrs. Pig? Asked Susie. You cried. You burped. And you laughed. Susie and Peppa burst out laughing. Baby Peppa. Baby Susie. Then you grew into toddlers, said Mummy Pig. But where was George? Peppa asked. He was a baby in my tummy, said Mummy Pig. George looked very surprised at this part of the story. What a funny idea. Peppa thought for a minute. Daddy's tummy was even bigger than Mummy's. Is there a baby in there? She said. No, Peppa, chuckled Daddy Pig. This tummy is pure muscle. Mummy Pig said that after a little while, George was born, and she remembered the time that Granny and Grandpa Pig gave George a very special present. Can you guess what it was, Peppa? Peppa knew straight away. Mr. Dinosaur! She cried. Daddy Pig explained that Peppa and Susie didn't stay little for very long. They liked to jump and dance and run around all over the place. Then one day, said Mummy Pig, you saw something amazing. A muddy puddle! Mummy Pig said, you love jumping up and down in muddy puddles. After Mummy and Daddy Pig's big tale of little Peppa, Susie, George and Peppa ran outside to the garden. I still love muddy puddles, Peppa cheered and jumped into the biggest one she could find. Susie and George jumped in too. Daddy Pig went to find the camera. "Let's take a photo of you now," he suggested. Peppa, Susie and George did their best smiles. Little or big, Peppa will always love jumping up and down in muddy puddles. The end.
Hi kids, did you have fun watching this video? Then like and subscribe for more.